All right. So today I want to switch gears a little bit. I want to try to talk a little more about the dogs themselves and more particularly the puppies. So, I mean, I know we talk about the kennel bills and that type of stuff more so, but this time I want to get to the puppies are kind of more of what's passionate to me. The builds is something that was a necessity for me and has gradually grown to a passion as far as wanting to do something, wanting to create something great. But the puppies is really what that's what really I really enjoy doing. So anyway, I'm gonna start trying to go through nutrition and more specifically skin and coat from day zero on to about 8 weeks. And what I want to go into what I look for, the warning signs as far as like issues before they get severe, and I also want to go into some basic nutrition with that and some basic supplementing and environmental things that I do that that can affect the puppy skin. So the first thing we want to start off with is during that period, newborn puppies, and newborn I mean like day zero going up to probably about 2 weeks. That's what I'm going to call that category. If you see any skin issues during this time, typically that means that issue has come directly from the mother. Either she's producing some type of allergen in her milk that is causing them to break out, or it's something environmental, which in this situation, I typically lean more towards something environmental. Puppies are not being cleaned enough. The mother is not being clean enough, so she's still whelping the puppies or whatnot. Then she could be bringing some type of fungus, bacteria, or something like that in to the whelping area and onto the puppies. So I try to eliminate. I try to go down like a list, a process of elimination list. And now before I continue, I want to say that I am by no means a licensed nutritionist. I'm by no means a licensed vet or skin or coat doctor or anything like that. All this stuff I'm telling you is just stuff I've learned from good people over the years, or process elimination, YouTube, or just bro knowledge type stuff. So anyway, jumping into it, I talked about the first 2 weeks, right? Typically that's environmental. When that type of situation, I want to I don't want to overdo it. So you don't want to use no type of harsh chemicals, especially not like bleach or O'Bannon or none of them type of things. No Fabuloso, nothing like that. You want to use like a basic, very diluted antibacterial soap, something like that. And all that, when you're doing that, all you want to do, every time, like the way I do it, I get on a little schedule. Every time I let the mother out, I put the puppies into there. I have like a homemade incubator type situation, or you could use like a tote bin, something like that. Just something, you put like a little heated pad on the bottom of it and a towel over it, just something to keep the puppies. And then so I'll go in there, I'll wipe down the area real good, try to get anything solid out first. Then I wipe down with my antibacterial soap towel, and I also, I don't do it during this time, but as we go move forward, I use 70% rubbing alcohol to spray down my to clean out my areas. Now, I use the alcohol because it evaporates very fast, as well as it is not nearly as harmful as something like a bleach or one of those industrial type cleaners or whatnot. So now I do that. If I do use the alcohol, I make sure that all the dogs are outside, puppies are in a kind of distant area, well ventilated area. I'm gonna spray it down, and I want it to dry completely. And honestly, with this litter, even when it dried, we still went behind with like a wet towel, a damp towel, and just wiped it up. Just because you don't want to have nothing harsh, and you typically don't want to have nothing that's not natural around none of the puppies, because the mother will actually, if it's too much going on and it kind of like a stressful situation, sometimes she'll kick the puppies away just because things are not natural for her, they're not normal for her. So that's the first thing. First 2 weeks, focus on environment. If you starting to see skin issues, stuff like that. And then, okay, so 2 weeks into 4 weeks, that's when puppies, their eyes start opening up. They start getting a little more mobile. And what's going to happen around this time, they start pooping bigger and peeing bigger, right? So it's harder for the mother to keep clean. So with this type of situation, not only every time I let the mother out, but like even in between them times, I'm going in there. I'm just trying to help her clean up. The puppies, during this time, I'm doing like a real mild wipe down, meaning like I take like a microfiber cloth, dip it in my my very diluted antibacterial soapy water, and I'll just wipe the puppies off real quick. All I'm trying to do is wipe off any poop, pee, any type of bacteria, allergens, stuff like that, just real quick. And I'll go ahead and dry them off too. I don't want to lead them like that. I don't want to lead them too wet because they still cannot regulate their body temperature that well at that point. So moving forward, like I said, that's mostly environmental. If it is like the rare case where the mother is producing some type of toxic milk, at this point in time, that's when you either need to switch her food to something, get her on some antibiotics, or just go ahead and do bottle feeding altogether. Sometimes if they old enough, a few days old, and they didn't got the colostrum from the mother and that type of stuff, you can switch them over to bottle feeding. And I know some people that bottle feed from after 3 days, they bottle feed all the way up to 4 weeks. And I mean, that's just a lot of work. So I would prefer to do it natural. I have not had a situation yet where I've had to do all of the work like that. I've had some mothers be kind of bad mothers where they don't want to, I don't trust them around the puppies, so I do more bottle feeding. But typically it's not like a skin and coat type situation. So anyway, after that 4 week time frame, it's really like 3.5 to 4.5 week time frame. That's the time you really are weaning the mother off of the puppies off the mother. You getting them on some type of milk where they can drink in that type of situation. Now, what I've learned in that weaning process where they are going to milk, to some artificial milk, you don't want to keep them on that milk too long. That was like my biggest mistake in the past. Was I'm like, okay, well, my puppies are staying full on this artificial milk, so let me keep them on to artificial milk. Sometimes I was still giving them artificial milk like 6 to 8 weeks, and that was a flaw on my part. So right now what we do is that first transition period, I do have some milk. We use Nursol. You can get it from Track Supply. And with some warm water. During that time, I'll put back any type of supplements that I need to, I feel like they need. At this point, the supplements are litter specific. And at this point, this is when the puppies are going to start getting their first, I call them bird baths. So what I'm going to do, I got a stainless steel bucket, or galvanized bucket, something like that. And you gonna put some warm water in there. You want it like baby bath warm. You know how to check the temperature. You check on the sensitive part of your skin. You don't check it on the outside of the skin on your hand because that skin is tougher. You test it on something like this. Go ahead, do that. I want that to be highly diluted, so I'm putting my antibacterial soap in there, a very small amount. In that bath water, I might use something. Might use like a puppy shampoo. You know what I'm saying? But it's typically just gonna stick with that antibacterial soap. So moving forward from there, we talking like 4.5, 5 week time frame. Now this is the big test, because this is where the puppy's immune systems are vulnerable again, right? Because they off the mother. This is when it's most important to keep them clean, because they walking around, but they still not really super mobile. So they still bump and slide into each other's poop, and they still crawling through the milk and all that type of stuff. So this is the time when you want to kind of stay on keeping your environment clean. And by environment clean, I mean during this time I might clean like 4 or 6 times a day, depending on the puppies. You know, some puppies you got kind of chill and they real good puppies. They go in their area, use the bathroom, all types of stuff. But some puppies, no. By this time, you probably should have already done 1 or 2 deworming, and that will help you keep the puppies cleaner. That also help you with your coat, because if they're not fighting worms, their body is using more of that energy to grow. Deworming, and I'm talking like hookworms, roundworms. You want to get something for coccidia also. And if you did your work during this 4, 5, and 6 week time frame, the rest of it's cakewalk. The rest of it is just keeping them maintaining. So, but anything that you miss during this time, it's gonna show its face during that 5, 6, 7 week. Right when it's time to get rid of puppies, that's when it's gonna show its face if you're not doing this part right now. Also, if you start seeing skin issues around this time, my main things is, like I said, get them all on the milk and off of milk pretty fast, artificial milk. I want to get them onto some type of, typically I use like a canned food. And when I use canned food, I try to this time I don't skimp out on nutrition. Like if it's any time not to skimp out on some dog food, now is not the time. I would not go to Walmart and get the basic canned food. I wouldn't get no basic food or whatever, dog, child, or nothing like that. Go ahead and spend the money for the puppies. Get them some good. I stay away from anything with chicken in it. I don't like no chicken, whatever. I try to do fish all the time with my puppies. A lot of dogs, bully breeds, have chicken allergies. So when you read your food for your adult dogs and all that kind of stuff, I try to stay away from anything with chicken. And like I said, I like the Taste the Wild. They got a salmon and sweet potato mix. A lot of these other brands, they got like salmon, sweet potato. At this point, you just want to make sure it's small quantities. You don't want them to have like no big chunks in it for adult food. So moving forward from there, if during this time, I like to start putting the supplements in their food. And this is like 5 week time frame, 5 weeks on up. One of the main supplements I like is coconut oil. So I will be kind of liberal with the coconut oil because it's really good for the digestive tract, which in return means a healthier puppy. It's really good for the food itself. It helps the food be a little softer and more palatable for them. At this point, I will start using dine if I need to. I judge the dine based off the puppy itself or the puppies themselves. So I try not to use more than like a couple teaspoons of dine for the whole puppy tray, right? Because you use too much dine, it's literally it's like sugar water. It's like if you was a baby and somebody just gave you like a bunch of syrup. Like it's not healthy at that point, because you just need enough to replenish those calories that the puppies are burning off. So let's say coconut oil, dine. I use Red Cell. All Red Cell is a it's like a multivitamin in liquid form. Very, very iron rich. It has a lot of those things that the mother was giving them in the milk. And you never can duplicate nature or whatever, but I try to continue putting as many of those vitamins and minerals and nutrients from into the puppy's food that they would normally get from a mother, because that in the wild, that's what she would be doing. She would be going out there picking what is best for the puppy. So after the Red Cell, I would probably use it's a lot of supplements like Track Supply or whatever. I try to get some supplement that has some good oils in it. There's one recently that I tried by Duravet, and it has omega-3, 6, and omega-3, 6, and 9s in it. I like that one a lot. It seemed to it's another one that seemed to help my puppies stool, them have a normal stool. It's another one out there. I think it's called Jack Coat. I can't remember the whole thing, but I know the last Coat is spelled Kote. Something coat. Anyway, that's a good one. I has a lot of good oils in it, good oils and fats in it. During this time, this is when I would start transitioning some of the raw beef into their diet and that type of stuff. Now, during this period or whatever, this is when you, like I said, this is a very important time for the puppies' immune system. So you need to be very careful about what you do and not overdoing stuff. You need to, during this time is when you need to be, you can try this supplement or whatever, but you need to be watching how they respond to it. Also, if you have any puppies that are like not to a severe level of faded puppy syndrome, but if you have any puppies that are like a little standoffish, not too aggressive with the food, that type of stuff, right now is I like to use a B complex, and that will help them. What I've seen, it will give them a little more of an appetite. And during this time, I want my puppies to have an appetite. If my puppies are not running to the food, then I got an issue. I got to figure out what I'm doing wrong, right? So I don't like. It's a lot of people that like to use that method where they soak the food and let it get soft. I used to do it. I don't like to do it no more. It's not as effective, and it's a lot of time wasted, I've noticed. I like to go straight to get some good quality canned food that's nice, and it's not chunks of nothing. It's nice and small and ground up or whatever. And if I got to, shoot, I'll buy a blender and put it in there if I got to. So go from there, and now we're looking at 5.5 weeks on up into 8 weeks, about time for the puppies to go to their new homes. All this time frame, I like to stick with the baths. This might be overkill, but this is what I like to do. I like to do a bath 3 to 4 days, every 3 to 4 days. I will even wipe a puppy off in between if they start getting poop and stuff on them. But my puppies stay pretty clean in the setup I had them in. So I typically go like every 3 to 4 days. It's bath time. That will keep the allergens out of their skin. It will help soften their coat, and it will start to eliminate some of those fungal things that you might see on their coat and that type of stuff. Now, when I do that, another thing I forgot to mention that I like to put in their food, but I haven't done it this one, is salmon oil. I think salmon oil is really good for their food. And when I give them their bath around this time, sometimes I will put a lot of times I put coconut oil on their skin. I have done olive oil, and I have done salmon oil. I just stick with the coconut oil this time because it seems to be I don't know how to say it, but it's not the greasiest, like, for me. I feel like coconut oil is like a thinner oil, so when you massage in their skin, I feel like it absorbs much easier as opposed to olive oil when it kind of just stays on the skin, which may be better, but I feel like after you give that puppy a bath and you put that coconut oil on them, their natural oils will start to kick in after that, right? They shouldn't have to have no thick oil on them unless you have a severe case. And then going forward to there, if you do have any skin issues at this point, you have to go down a checklist, modify the diet, modify your environment. You also can stress a puppy out. If you stressing your puppies out, it's the same thing. It's just like humans. Humans, they lose their hair on their head when you stress them out, right? So you try to keep the puppies as calm as possible. You don't want to stress them out. You want to keep them on a pretty good routine during this time. 2 things I use once they start getting a little bit older. So I'm talking like 7-8 week time frame. And I use these very sparingly. But one is the sulfur lime dip. If you get online, I've seen tremendous results with sulfur lime. If I ever, in the past, and I've had situations where dogs have had some type of allergic reaction or fungal infection, like sometimes you see little bumps on their face or stuff on their chests and their arms. Sometimes you see that sulfur lime will get that out of there. And then another thing that I use, and like I said, y'all don't, please don't shoot me for saying this, but I like to put some type of antibiotic into their food if I start seeing flare-ups and red skin, that type of stuff. And I'll do like amoxicillin. And what I do with amoxicillin is it's 10 milligrams per pound for each puppy. So I get a weight on my heaviest puppy and my lightest puppy, add them together, divide it by 2. So let's say my heaviest puppy is 10 pounds. My lightest puppy is 5 pounds. This is just, I don't know, ballpark or whatever. What's that? 15 divided by 2, 7.5. 7.5 times 10 puppies, so 750 milligrams is what I would need to put in their food twice a day for 7 days. I think one capsule of fish mox or amoxicillin is like 500 milligrams. So if I gotta do 750 milligrams, I'm gonna do the lower dosage. I'm gonna do 500 milligrams and watch how it affects them. If I have a really tiny litter or whatever, I'll probably break it in half. Try to do half in the morning, half in the evening, something like that. But I typically go by weight, and I try to do the lesser amount. I don't want to, when it comes to antibiotics, I don't want to overdo it. And it's like all these supplements that I'm telling you about and all these processes I'm telling you about, I'm the type of person that I want to ease it in there. I'm going to ease it in there. Like I will just stay on it, watching the effects of it. I might sometimes I might do it with like just this set of puppies. Like this particular litter, I had to split the puppies in half. My big puppies didn't have no problems, no nothing. They ate perfectly. My little puppies kind of struggle a little bit. So I'm a treat their diet a little differently than I'm with my big puppies. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's pretty much all it goes. If y'all got any questions or whatever for me, please leave it in the comments or contact me on social media or whatnot. Like I said, all this information is just stuff from what I have learned over the years. I can't tell you the exact research. I'm gonna start trying to do the research on stuff, but I can't tell you the exact research on whether this is the healthiest or that's the healthiest. All this is just from, I had puppies. This didn't work. This did work. This worked really good. This didn't work as much. That's all. This person told me try this. It worked very effectively. This person told me try that. It didn't work. That's all I'm telling you right now. It's just stuff I have learned from actual experience. So I would try to, any other videos I do, I would try to get a little more in depth with some research and try not to hit y'all with so much bro knowledge or whatnot. And but I appreciate everybody for tuning in if y'all watching it. And if y'all like these videos, and let me know, and I'm gonna try to do a little more of these. I'm gonna try to do one of these a week. So shoot, just let me know. Appreciate it.